Hello! Today I'm thrilled to be a stop in Justine's 1 million views celebration video hop. I've known Justine since 2014 when we both served on our very first design team together. We haven't had the opportunity to be on the same team at the same time since then, but I've followed her crafting journey over the years and am honored to help her celebrate this YouTube milestone. So as I mentioned, this is a video hop and my very first. Somewhere in my video you will see a secret word. Make note of my secret word, and as you watch all the videos in the hop, collect all of the secret words to create a phrase. Then you can enter the phrase at the link in my YouTube description below for a chance to win one of several fabulous prizes. You'll find the prize list at the end of my video. Let's get started. I'm using the new fill-in bundle from Concord 9th for my card. I select one of the pretty gray striped floral pattern papers and use washi tape to carefully adhere the stencil over the pattern paper. I'll be using a dauber rather than a blending tool to apply ink over my stencil, so just a bit of washi tape will be enough to hold the stencil in place. If I was using a blending tool, I would probably use painter's tape to hold down my paper and additional painter's tape to hold down the stencil. I use regular post-it notes to mask off the extra flowers and edges of the paper that the stencil does not cover. Then I use a dauber to apply Ocean Mist ink from Gina K Designs. I'm not rubbing or blending the ink into the paper, but just lightly tapping it over the stencil. After I apply ink in the top left corner, I move my post-it notes and apply the same ink to the bottom right corner. Once the first layer is done, I remove the post-it notes and washi tape and place the second stencil over the pattern paper. I use washi tape and post-it notes to hold the stencil in place and mask over the areas where I don't want to accidentally apply any ink. Next, I use Blue Lagoon ink and a dauber to apply ink over the stencil. I use a small palette knife and the Nouveau clear glitter paste to apply sparkle to the stencil. Because my ink is a little wet, I need to make sure I get all the paste I need in my first swipe, because my ink is going to dye the glitter paste teal, and I don't want to put my knife back into the jar and contaminate the rest, though that teal is certainly a really pretty color. I use the back of the palette knife to scrape the stencil so that my layer of paste is thin. Next, I remove the post-it notes and the washi tape and carefully peel up the stencil. At this point, I take a break to let my paste dry, and I wash off my palette knife and stencil. Make sure you wash your tools off before the paste dries, or it's really difficult to get all the paste off. I let my paste dry for about an hour and then start on the sentiment. I trim my pattern paper down to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 panel and place it in my MISTI. I leave a tiny sliver around 1/8 of an inch between the right side of my panel and the edge of my MISTI. You'll see why in a moment. Then I use the darker Blue Lagoon ink from Gina K to ink up my sentiment. This is a sentiment from the Fill-In Phrases stamp set from Concord 9th. I ink it twice just to make sure I get good crisp ink coverage. Then I clean off my stamp and slide the card panel all the way into the corner of my MISTI. This time I ink my stamp with Versamark and stamp it over the teal sentiment. I use 2 inkings of Versamark just to make sure I get good coverage, and then I heat emboss the Versamark with silver embossing powder. I want the teal to look like a drop shadow of the silver embossing. Finally, I adhere the panel to my card base using ATG adhesive and then add a sprinkling of sparkling clear sequins for a little extra sparkle. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial and my stop on Justine's 1 million views celebration video hop. Don't forget to collect all of the secret words and enter them at the link below for a chance to win one of these fabulous prizes. If you have any questions about my card, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll try to help you out. You can find links to my blog and all of the products I used in the YouTube description below. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button so you won't miss any of my future videos. Thanks so much for watching, have a wonderful day, and enjoy the rest of the hop. Your next stop is the talented Tracy Freeman.